Episode 13. Finding steady hope in uncertainty. Welcome back. Today I want to speak about something we all long for. Hope that doesn't waver, even when life is uncertain. Because uncertainty has a way of shaking us. It touches every part of life. Health challenges, unexpected transitions, moments we never planned for. It asks questions we can't easily answer. It stretches us into spaces we didn't choose. And the truth is, we cannot control the future. We cannot predict every outcome. We cannot guarantee smooth roads. No amount of planning, thinking, or worrying can fully remove uncertainty. And that realization can feel unsettling. But it can also be freeing. Because if our peace and hope depend on certainty, we will always feel unstable. There will always be something unknown, something unresolved, something beyond our control. So the invitation is not to eliminate uncertainty. It's to anchor ourselves in something stronger than it. A hope that remains steady. Not a fragile hope built on outcomes going our way. Not a conditional hope that rises and falls with circumstances. But a rooted hope. The kind of hope that says, even if I don't know what's ahead, I am not without direction. Even if I can't see the outcome, I am not without purpose. Even if the path is unclear, I am not walking it alone. That kind of hope doesn't remove the unknown, but it changes how you stand in it. It steadies your heart when your thoughts want to race. It quiets the urgency to have everything figured out. It allows you to live today without being consumed by tomorrow. Because hope is not about having answers. It's about having something to hold on to when you don't. It's about trusting that there is meaning, even when you can't yet see it. That there is direction, even when the path feels hidden. That there is care surrounding you, even in the uncertainty. And when your hope is anchored like that, you begin to notice something powerful. Uncertainty is still there, but it doesn't shake you the same way. You can breathe in the middle of it. You can take the next step without needing the whole map. You can rest even when the future is unclear. Because your stability is no longer coming from knowing what will happen. It's coming from knowing what holds you steady, no matter what does. Hope is not ignorance. Hope is not pretending everything is perfect. It's not forcing a smile when your heart feels heavy. It's not saying, it's fine, when you know it isn't. Hope is honest. It looks at reality and says, this is hard. This is uncertain. This is not what I expected. And still, it chooses to believe. Because hope is not a denial of difficulty. It doesn't ignore the struggle. It stands within. It allows you to feel what is real, without letting it define what is true. Romans 15 verse 13 says, May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in Him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. The God of hope, not just a source of hope, but the very foundation of it. And notice where that hope comes from. Not from circumstances improving, not from having clear answers, not from everything going the way you planned. It comes as you trust in Him. That means hope is not something you manufacture. It's something you receive as you lean into trust, even when it feels difficult. As you turn your heart towards God, even with questions, something begins to fill you. Joy, peace, and hope. Not because everything changed around you, but because something is changing within you. And then it says something even more powerful, that you may overflow with hope. Not just enough to get by, not just barely holding on, overflow. A hope that is stronger than your circumstances. A hope that rises even when emotions dip. A hope that carries you and begins to touch those around you. And it comes by the power of the Holy Spirit, which means it's not dependent on your strength, not dependent on your ability to stay positive, not dependent on you getting it right. It's sustained by God Himself. So hope becomes this steady, quiet anchor. It says, I don't understand everything I'm facing, but I trust the one who does. I don't feel strong all the time, but I know where my strength comes from. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know I'm not facing it alone. Hope is trusting in God despite what we see, despite what we feel, despite the uncertainty that surrounds us. And that kind of hope, honest, grounded, spirit-filled, doesn't waver with every change. It remains steady, rooted, alive, even here and even now. How to anchor hope. Yes, what helps me? Simple, steady practices that keep my heart grounded even when life feels uncertain. Number 1, focus on what you know is true. When uncertainty grows, your mind will try to fill in the gaps with fear. So I come back to what I know. God's faithfulness is real. His love is constant. My family's support is tangible. My breath, my heartbeat, my ability to take the next step. These are gifts I can count today. Truth steadies what fear tries to shake, because even when I don't know what's coming, I can stand on what has already proven itself to be true. Number 2, embrace the present moment. Hope grows best in the present, not in imagined futures. I remind myself, I don't need to solve tomorrow today. I don't need to control every outcome. I don't need to carry what hasn't happened yet. There is grace for this moment. And when I stay here, fully present, I feel less overwhelmed, less scattered. Living today well quietly builds hope for tomorrow. Number 3, practice gratitude daily. Gratitude is one of the quickest ways to reconnect with hope. Even in hard seasons, there's still something to notice. A smile, a kind word, a moment of peace, a strength you didn't expect. These things may seem small, but they are evidence. Evidence that good still exists, that you are still supported, that hope has not disappeared. The more you notice it, the more your heart begins to believe it again. Number 4, pray honestly. You don't have to filter your prayers. You don't have to sound strong. You don't have to hide your fears. Bring it all. The questions, the uncertainty, the moments when you feel tired or overwhelmed. Honest prayers do not weaken hope. They deepen it. Because hope is not built on pretending everything is okay. It's built on trusting God with what is not okay. Prayer shifts the weight. It reminds you, I'm not carrying this alone. I don't have to hold every answer. I can release this here. And in that exchange, something happens. Your heart becomes lighter, and hope has room to grow again. These practices don't remove uncertainty, but they anchor you within it. They keep your thoughts steady. They keep your heart open. They keep your hope rooted in something that does not change. And over time, you begin to realize hope is not something fragile you're trying to hold on to. It's something strong that is holding you. When fear creeps in, even the strongest hearts feel fear. Fear is not a sign that you're failing. It's not a sign that your faith is weak. It's part of being human, especially when you're walking through something uncertain, something important, something that matters deeply. Fear shows up in quiet moments, in waiting, in the unknown. But fear does not have to rule you. It may speak, but it doesn't get the final say. It may rise, but it doesn't have to lead. Because there's a difference between feeling fear and following it. And in that space, you have a choice. Hope is that choice. Not a one-time decision, but a daily, sometimes moment-by-moment choice to turn your heart towards something steadier. Hope doesn't deny fear. It stands beside it and says, you don't get to take over. You can feel afraid and still choose to trust. You can feel uncertain and still take the next step. You can feel overwhelmed and still return to peace. They can coexist. And over time, hope begins to take the lead. Not because fear disappears, but because you've chosen what to follow. I remind myself, I cannot see the whole road, but I can trust the one who walks ahead of me. That reminder changes how I carry the unknown, because the weight of uncertainty often comes from feeling like I have to figure everything out, like I need to see every turn, every outcome, and every possibility. But I don't. I only need enough light for the step I'm on. And if God is already ahead, if He sees what I cannot, if He is preparing what I don't yet understand, then I'm not walking into the unknown alone. I am being led through it. So when fear rises, I don't fight it with force. I acknowledge it, I breathe, and then I gently return to truth. I am not alone. I am being guided. I can take the next step. Not the whole journey, just the next step. And that is enough. Because hope doesn't require you to see the entire path. It only asks you to keep walking, trusting that the one ahead of you knows exactly where you're going. Hope is steady, not situational. Steady hope is not dependent on perfect outcomes or smooth days. It doesn't rise when everything goes well and disappear when things feel hard. It isn't fragile. It isn't temporary. It is rooted in the one who never changes, the one who is steady when everything else feels uncertain, the one who is present when you feel overwhelmed, the one who remains constant, even when your circumstances do not. So when lab results fluctuate, when appointments feel heavy, when your body feels tired and your mind feels stretched, when the treatment plan changes, hope remains. Not always loud, not always emotional, but present. Sometimes hope is quiet. It doesn't shout over your fear, it whispers beneath it. You are not alone. Even in the waiting rooms, even in the long nights, even in the moments no one else sees. You are held, not loosely, not conditionally, but securely, even when you feel uncertain, even when things feel out of your control. This is not the end, not of your story, not of your strength, not of what is still unfolding. Because what you see right now is only a part, not the whole. Steady hope doesn't require everything to make sense. It simply invites you to trust that there is more than what you can see. And sometimes that hope looks like the smallest step forward. Getting out of bed, taking a breath, choosing not to spiral, whispering a prayer, holding on to one truth. These are not small things. They are evidence of hope at work inside you. Because hope is not just something you feel, it's something you live. It's the quiet decision to keep going, to stay anchored, to believe that even here, even now, you are not alone. You are held, and your story is still unfolding. If you are facing uncertainty today, hear this. You can find steady hope. You can trust even when you do not know. You can live fully even when the path is unclear. Hope is not about ignoring reality. It's about standing firmly, anchored in truth, faith, and love. No matter what comes next, your steps are ordered. Your heart can be at peace, and hope can overflow. If this gave you perspective, share it with someone who needs steady hope today. Like it by clicking the thumbs up. Follow me by clicking the bell sign. This will help me reach more people. Until next time, stay anchored.